A cheeky man. Hi, you on Mummy's YouTube? Hi guys, it's Shannon and welcome back to my channel. Today, as you can see, we have a really special guest. This is baby Cody, and for those of you that are new, this is my little boy. He's now 8 weeks old, so he's literally just coming out of the newborn phase, which breaks my heart because honestly he was so tiny. He's falling asleep. Don't worry, his head is supported, my arm is here and he's got his hand here and his head is perfectly fine. I checked just before I turned the camera on that he was comfy and he's falling asleep because he always does when he's on me. So I asked you some questions on Instagram and in today's video I am going to be answering them for you all. So this is my newborn Q&A. Without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So, one second. So Cody's full name is Cody Thomas Dewson and he actually has my surname, and he was born on the 4th of April 2019 and he weighed just £6 1 ounce. I wasn't actually due until the 25th of April, so Cody was actually 3 weeks to the day early as they induced me at 37 weeks and he came just 8 hours after I was induced. They induced me with Cody because I was having a lot of problems with his growth. He wasn't measuring properly on the scans and the induction didn't go very well. It had to be stopped like 10-15 minutes in and I bled all 8 hours through labour and I ended up not very well, which I'll go into later. When Cody was born, he was in tiny baby and now he's in first size and newborn, and although that's still really tiny, it breaks my heart because of how small he actually was. So for your questions, the first one is, if Cody was a girl, what would you have called him? If Cody would have been a girl, and I'm still going to be using this baby girl name if I end up having a baby girl in future, because I definitely want more babies, I'm not going to lie. I love being a mum, it's the best thing I've ever done, and he has not put me off. As much as the sleepless nights can get tiring, I would definitely have another. And I would call a baby girl, and I would have called Cody Mila. I do have a middle name to go with Mila too, however I don't want to give that away just because it is the name I will be using when or if I have a baby girl. Fingers crossed, I hope I have a baby girl. Honestly, I really want a baby girl in the future. How cute is Cody? You're looking all cute. Are you looking all cute in Mummy's video while you're sleeping? The next question is, are you enjoying your new mum life so far? I honestly love being a mum so much. Like, I can't put into words just how amazing it is. It's the best thing, honestly. I wouldn't change it for the world, and even though he's only been here like 8 weeks now, I could not imagine life without him, honestly. I really can't imagine not having him in my life. I wonder what I did before with all that time. It's crazy to me that I even had so much time and I didn't like do anything, because now it's like I'm always busy. He is so adorable though, honestly, he melts me. Guys, I think you just got that cheeky smile when I complimented him and that was adorable. Oh, he melts me, he's so cute. Are you beautiful? Are you gorgeous, little man? And another thing on my point of, are you enjoying new mum life so far? If it wasn't for Cody, I genuinely don't think I'd be in this world today. I struggle a lot with mental health, and without him, I really don't think I'd be here. And he's honestly saved my life, and I'm gonna get emotional. I owe him the world. Cliche and as cringy as that might sound to some people, hand on heart, I really truly mean that. I genuinely don't think I would be here today, and knowing that this little miracle is the reason why I am is everything and more, and I couldn't be more grateful to him. Next question is, how painful was labour? Right, I won't lie, labour is really extremely painful. It isn't for everyone, and for some people it's the worst thing in the world and they wouldn't do it again. Personally, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but that's not me saying, oh, it's easy, because it's really not, in my opinion. But I would say I thought it was going to be so much worse. I don't know how I thought it was going to be worse, but I genuinely, hand on heart, believed it was going to kill me. I did not think I would be making it out alive of that hospital, and even before I got pregnant I always was convinced labour would kill me. And because I'm here today, anything less than that I was happy and lucky with, and I felt extremely blessed. I did have a few complications in labour. Whilst I was pushing, I actually burst a blood vessel and almost needed a blood transfusion and an iron transfusion, almost went unconscious. Everything kept going black and I kept coming back round and everything, and I wasn't able to actually feed Cody or even hold him properly for the first like 4 or 5 hours of his life because I was out of it that much, and I ended up severely anaemic. But to say how quickly my labour went, which was 8 hours, and the fact that he had complications and he came out perfectly healthy, I am so lucky, and I just want to stress that this isn't me complaining. I am honestly blessed that he's here today and he is the way he is. The next question is favourite thing about being a mum. My favourite thing, honestly there's so many things, I could not pinpoint just one, but just to name a few of my favourite things is the way he looks at me. It honestly melts my heart. He looks at me like I'm the best thing in the world, and that's obviously because I'm his mum. And there's no better feeling than the way he looks at me and his little smile. It melts me so much, and the fact that I just know I've made something so perfect is everything. I think anyone that's got a baby feels that way. They just look at the baby and they're just like, this is everything. Can't say it enough just because of how cute he is, but he's gorgeous. I love you. The next question is the hardest part about being a mum. So the hardest thing for me would be when he's crying in pain and there's literally nothing I can do about it. For example, he's struggled with reflux before and I was holding him, I was trying to help him, and because we couldn't get a doctor's appointment and it wasn't urgent enough to go to A&E, there was literally nothing I could do other than hold him and try and help him and just give him cuddles. But he was just crying so badly in pain, and it was like the worst thing, because as a mum I was just watching my baby struggle, trying to do everything I could but knowing that nothing was working, and honestly that has been one of the hardest things for me. The next question is, how are you finding being a mummy and has much changed? I just want to say I found being a mummy 1,000,000 times more rewarding than it is challenging. I think one of the main things that's changed for me is because I struggle with anxiety badly. I used to put a lot of things off. For example, like I wouldn't go to town, I wouldn't be able to go on public transport, I wouldn't even get in taxis. And since having him, I don't want him to grow up and have missed out or be really anxious himself because he's seen me anxious. So I put myself in a lot of situations that I wouldn't normally to try and help him. And for example, he had to go to the hospital just not long after he was born because he wasn't able to go to the toilet properly. And the hospital floor with the children's ward on was on floor 8, and because I was severely anaemic I wasn't able to walk up the stairs, but I have a severe phobia of lifts, so I had to put myself in a position where I had to get in the lift, and it did result in me having a meltdown, but I still did it for my baby boy. And although that's not a big thing to some people, it was to me. Honestly, I'm terrified of them. I have a phobia of being trapped. I don't like the motion, it makes me feel really sick. But I put myself in that situation to try and help him, and I'm really glad I did, because, you know, you put your children first. I think that's the way it should be, and I'm really proud of how far I've come as a person, because if you know me personally, a year ago I wasn't like this at all. You're smiling? And there's just things that I have to do because I'm responsible for this little person. Keeps smiling at me, is adorable. And the last question that I got asked was a bit more of a serious one, and I was debating whether to address it, but I feel like it does need to be addressed. And it says, not judging, you look like you're doing a brilliant job, but where is the baby's dad? I'm getting emotional already. Cody's dad left me and made it clear from the day I found out I was pregnant he didn't want to be a part of Cody's life. I've tried reaching out to him for Cody's sake, but in return I've just got really awful messages and do not contact me, and quite awful things said to me and said about both me and Cody. I can't even repeat the things he has said on my channel because, one, that wouldn't be fair to my little boy, you know, at the end of the day that's still his dad. And two, it's just not nice things, and it wouldn't be fair just to tell all the internet. It's not fair on my son. That's something he's going to have to grow up with, and it's not a very nice thing to have to go through. So I want to keep that as confidential as possible for him and respectful, but I did feel like I needed to address it because it is a part of Cody's life and what has happened. It really hurts me that his dad just doesn't care. But there's a quote I saw recently online, and it says, "I just can't understand how your child's face isn't enough for you to make better choices." And honestly, I couldn't agree more with that, because I just look at him and see my entire world, and he's never even met him, he's never even wanted to meet him. It breaks my heart for Cody's sake, because I know there's going to be a day where he asks where his daddy is, and I'm going to have to answer that question. And although it's not my fault, I feel really guilty, but I try my best. And besides this, I honestly couldn't complain about anything, but this is the one thing that upsets me. I have a genuine, I just feel really sorry for him, because at the end of the day, everyone deserves a mum and a dad. I have accepted what it is, but I can't help looking at Cody and not feeling hurt for him, because it's just an awful thing to go through. And I'm lucky to have both my mum and my dad in my life, and I know people that haven't, and it's really affected them, and I know people that also haven't, and it's not bothered them one bit. I'm just hoping it doesn't affect him too much. I just always remind myself that he's got a family that loves him and wants him, and no matter what, I'm here for him, and I'm going to be his mummy, and he can always come to me with absolutely anything, and I'm going to remind him that as he gets older. But on a serious note, I have to keep reminding myself that I'm doing the best I can. And if someone's really going to speak badly about their child, do they really deserve to be a part of their life? Not really. Cody isn't the one missing out, it's definitely his dad. And I couldn't be more prouder of my little boy. I think he's amazing. And that is it, guys. My camera is literally going to die, but yep, this is baby Cody, and I really hope you've enjoyed meeting him. And I love you all, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys, love you. Mwah.